Howdy doody peeps, Kiwi Lisa here. How's it going? Guess what peeps, I am in Launceston, Tasmania. I am back for holiday number 2 on a Trafalgar tour that I should have done in October. But I made it, I'm here. I am doing a 7-day Trafalgar tour, and in this video I am going to take you along with me day by day. So I had a credit from 2020, you know, when COVID stuffed up everyone's plan. I am finally using this credit for this tour. This tour is through Trafalgar. It costs $3,200 for 7 days. It travels down the east coast of Tasmania and will end in Hobart. We have just checked into our hotel. We're staying at the Hotel Grand Chancellor. We got an early check-in. The facilities are quite nice. I'm going to recap day by day what we do, where we stayed, what I liked, what I didn't like, what you might like. But yeah, it starts officially at 5:30. We will meet and greet with our guide and obviously the fellow travelers. So yeah, let's go. Whew, hey there peeps, it's a bit late now. So we've had our introduction. It went well. It took about 30 minutes. We got a few freebies, did all the paperwork. We were treated to our first meal of the tour, which was a 3-course luxurious meal. So yeah, entree, main and dessert. Do I ever normally have that? No, I don't. So that's a good start. Now if you're actually in Launceston, I do recommend that you take yourself out and explore the city. There is so much history and historic buildings, you know, from 1800s, early 1800s. Get out there and explore it. Go to the city park. There's the free monkeys. The flowers are in bloom. The weather is beautiful. And did you know that Launceston was voted, or what is it? Launceston was voted, won the Australian Town of the Year in 2022. So you got to come to Launceston, Tasmania. I probably said that wrong, but anyway, you know where I am. Tasmania, Launceston, come here. So on the agenda for tomorrow, peeps, let me bring up the itinerary. We will be heading out really early in the morning. We get a breakfast in the morning at the hotel here, which is included. We will be going to the Lavender farm. We will be going to some Anzac Mural, and we will be heading to Freycinet. I probably said that wrong, but we will be grabbing, going to Coles Bay. We're going to be staying at the Freycinet Lodge, so I'm going to fill you in on what that accommodation is like when I get there. So I'll fill you in tomorrow, peeps. See you then. Hey there peeps, how's it going? I have arrived in Freycinet here. I'm just going to do a recap of today and tell you the highlights and what we did. So 6:30 breakfast, had to have our bags out by 7, and we were departing on the bus by 8 o'clock. So the bus, it's a 50-seater. There's about 32 people on the tour. The bus has a toilet on it, but they don't encourage you to use it. You get your seat, and they do rotate it daily, so you don't always keep the same seat. I actually did happen to get front row shotgun, but that's because no one was sitting there. Tomorrow that's obviously going to be different. So we were in the bus for about an hour. First stop was the Bristow Lavender farm. No, it's not in bloom, so nothing to rave about. We had a 30-minute tour. They took us around the distillery and how they dry, and the lady told us a little bit about the place, and then we only had like about 40 minutes to ourselves. In that time you don't really get to do much. You can grab yourself something from the gift shop. You can buy yourself some cakes, some lavender goodies. Yes, so I did buy a lavender tea and lavender scones that cost $15.50, and I ran out of time, so I had to hoe that down and take away some of it. So depending on what you want out of that place, you're only there for about 1:10. We then drove for about another hour. We drove through some to the next stop, which was what is it? Let me get up my notes here. Ledgerwood, sorry, which is the Anzac Mural, with a difference. So there's these sculptures carved out of wood. They were going to tear down the trees, but they didn't want to do that, so they created these memorials, Anzac memorials, for 12 locals that went to war. Only 5 returned, 7 obviously passed away at war. So they have created these little memorials as a representation of those that lost their lives. So after that, then we were headed for the windy road. It was windy, it was quite scenic. That was about an hour 40 drive, and then we arrived at St Helens. Nothing to rave about. We stopped there for about 1:15. You could have your lunch. So, no, nothing to rave about there. There's nothing fancy. Obviously we were only there for very limited time, so we really didn't have an opportunity to do much. And then we drove here. So that was it for the day. Look, I really would have liked to stay longer at the Anzac Memorial. We were only there for 15 minutes. So to sum up the day, yeah, the Lavender Bristow farm, yeah, you could go there. It'd be better when it's blooming, but it would be very, very populated. And how it was is it was about 50-50. So we started at 8 o'clock, we arrived here in Freycinet at 4 o'clock, and about 50% of the time you're in the bus. So it was a long day, half of it in the bus. Nothing jumped out at me as very exciting. But yes, I probably would have liked to spend more time at the Anzac Memorial, because we really didn't have time to read all the plaques. But the lady, she gives you a whole description throughout the day of what things we go past, but pretty much shotgun. I've seen a lot of the road ahead. So we're here for some free time. I might take myself for a couple of little walks, and then we'll be having dinner tonight, a 3-course meal tonight down at the lodge. So spot you later, peeps. Hey there, peeps, I am back. So I have just come back from dinner. It's like 9:30. We sat down for dinner at 6:30, but let me take you back to after check-in. So we checked into the room, and I forgot to take you for a bit of a spin around the joint here, which is absolutely fantastico. So I'm just going to do that now. So welcome to our lodge number 50 here at the Freycinet Lodge. So we have a kitchen here. It's got a big fridge, microwave. It's got some cooking facilities. Come on this way. So we have kind of 2 rooms. This has a big luxurious bed. We have a dining area here with a little lounge and the TV. Let me do a little bit of a tester on this bed to see what it's like. Cool, let's have a look. Oh my god, yeah, that's a good bed. Oh, I've got the bathroom here. Just a shower, no bath. Little wee sink here. Some soap, that must be some lotion or something. And we do have here, oh, it's got a walk through to the little wee, the bedroom here. 2 single beds with some little wee made up little animals here. And then we've got a beautiful deck area out here. So yeah, welcome to our little lodge for the next 2 nights. Also, I just wanted to say that I did do a couple of the little walks. So we went down to the Richardson Beach and also Honeymoon Bay. Now, you can quite easily do both of them. You're a little bit rushed for time in between check-in and dinner at 6:30. If you are wanting to just do one of them, go to the Honeymoon Bay, because that was kind of classical, a little bit more Tasmanian vibe with the rocks. The other one is a beach. Did not have my bikini on because you only really get about an hour and a half in between arriving and checking in for dinner. But the dinner, fine class dinner experience, dining experience I should say. So yes, I have, I might say that the dinner is really, really superb. Obviously I'm not used to fine dining, but the meals that you are delivered are 3-course meals, entree, main and dessert. I've even tried something that I've never had before. I had quail for entree. But the meals are spectacular. What was the highlight of the day? Probably the meal, long bus journey. Going down to the Honeymoon Bay at your own time was good, but obviously you don't get much time in between the dinner at 6:30. But tomorrow, what's on the agenda for tomorrow, or the itinerary for tomorrow? Tomorrow we are going to Tourville Lighthouse, and we are doing a 4.5-hour boat cruise around Wineglass Bay. So I'll spot you tomorrow, peeps, and take you on the journey tomorrow. So see ya. Ooh, hey there peeps, day 3 done and dusted. Arrived back from the day rather early and we have some free time, but I'm knackered. So what did we do today? Well, this morning it was breakfast down at the lodge. You get to pick what you want. It's actually quite a nice breakfast. And then we headed up to Cape Tourville. Too sure how to say that, but we were there for 20 minutes, did a quick loop around the lighthouse, and then we headed off down to check into our cruise. So we did the Wineglass Bay cruise, Pennycock cruises, and oh my god, that was so freaking awesome. You travel by boat on the east coast, and wow, it is absolutely stunning. I'm gonna have to rate that out a 10 out of 10. So yeah, the cruise was friggin' awesome. If you are prone to getting seasickness, I do recommend taking some tablets. Yes, I do suffer from motion sickness and I did take some pills. It was a little bit rocky. I might just give you some hot tips. It's quite overcrowded. People are wanting to take their photos. It does stop along some stops on the way through. Even though this is part of the Trafalgar tour, you can actually book this yourself. So I think if you booked it yourself, I think it cost about $165, but that tour was absolutely friggin' awesome. On the way back, everyone's decided to stay inside. I plonked myself in the middle of the front of the boat, that's called the bow, and I got the most awesomest footage of the dolphins right down there on my GoPro, and I'm just gonna throw you up some footage here.
So we've got some common dolphins here with some babies. I think that some of the smallest babies you'll ever see. I reckon these guys are probably 2 or 3 days old.
So yeah, that part of the tour today was friggin' awesome. We have arrived back early. You have free time to wander, to do some lookouts and whatever. But obviously without a car or any transportation, you can't really travel too far. But today has been a great day. Just going to relax here in the room. And then we have dinner tonight again at 6:30. So I'll spot you. Hey there peeps. I am back from our beautiful 3-course dinner here at the Freycinet Lodge yet again. The food has been absolutely spectacular, but days are really long. It's just after 9:15, so we've rocked in quite late. We'll be checking out and be heading our way tomorrow to Hobart. We have 3 planned stops on the way. We'll be stopping at Ross, we'll be stopping at Oatlands, and we'll be stopping at Kempton. There was a change in the itinerary. We were supposed to be doing some nature planting, tree planting, seeding, but with COVID, a change of plans, and we will be going to a distillery and doing a little bit of gin tasting. So I'll spot you tomorrow, peeps. Hey there peeps, we have pulled up in Hobart today. We left Freycinet Lodge this morning about 9 o'clock, and on the agenda, on the itinerary today was the town of Ross, the town of Oatlands, and we stopped at Kempton for a distillery tour tasting. So we're on the road for about 7 hours. Of those 7 hours, we were actually on the road for about 4 hours out of the 7. We stopped at the Red Bridge in Campbelltown, which was a little bit of an extra. We stopped there for about 15 minutes for a quick photo, and then we were on to the little township of Ross. We were there for about an hour 15. There's nice little wee historic buildings, so that was worth a stop. Has the old famous scallop pies there and the vanilla slices, so check out those 2 bakeries while you're there. We then did the Oatlands. We were only there for 40 minutes. The bus stopped at the other end of the town, and we had to walk all the way to the only popular thing there, which is the windmill. So we were in and out, nothing to rave about there. And then our final stop was the whiskey and gin tasting at Kempton Distillery. That's not normally on the tour, and I wouldn't rave about that. I don't drink that sort of alcohol, so it wasn't my cup of tea. So we have pulled into the Hotel Grand Chancellor here in Hobart. This hotel is freaking awesome. We have got a waterfront view. I'm going to flip it around and I'm going to show you in a minute. But on the agenda for tomorrow is we're going to Port Arthur. We are going on a cruise, and we are going to a couple of the little destinations, which is the Tasman Arch, Devil's Arch, and the Blowhole. So I will fill you in tomorrow on those things. We rocked in here. There's plenty of awesome fish and chip places to eat right across the road. There's a Woolworths just up the road, and I'm going to show you this view quickly. Check out this awesome view, peeps. This is the view from room 1406 here at the Hotel Grand Chancellor in Hobart, and I'll check in with you tomorrow. Day 5, peeps, of the Tasmanian getaway. So today was going to be the one day that I was looking forward to, and that was the Port Arthur day. So the day started off with breakfast here in the Grand Chancellor Hotel, and I might just say it was spot on. Woo, that was a good breakfast, that one. We headed out in the bus. I got back seat driver today. And first stop was the Eagle Hawk Neck Lookout. We stopped there, got a couple of pictures, and then we were on to our main attraction, which was the Port Arthur Historical Site. And whoo, that was really good. Pity we didn't get longer. However, we did get quite a bit of time. It started with a free walking tour, which started at 10:30. it was bucketing down with rain today. That's the first lot of rain we have had since we've been here. I didn't join in the full tour because we weren't going to be there for very long, and I wanted to cover as much ground as possible. We had a 20-minute boat tour booked for 20 past 12. So between 10:30 and 20 past 12, you kind of got to cover yourself a lot of ground if you want to see a lot of the facilities or the site, and it's quite huge. So it's kind of something that you probably need a longer day. But included in the tour was the Port Arthur historical site, and it definitely is something you have to do when you come to Tasmania, in particular Hobart. It's about a 2-hour drive from Hobart, so make sure you go there. You do get a little bit of time after the boat cruise. It's a 20-minute boat cruise. It goes out to the Island of the Dead, Isle of the Dead. You don't get off the boat, but you go out there. You can get some good shots of the penitentiary, which is the main building there. You've got to go to the church. The church is the best one there. The beautiful gardens. I mean, I can't even go into more details. You've got to go there. It's definitely rich in history. It's a historical site. It's definitely must do. So that's definitely a good thing on the agenda or the itinerary for the tour. Afterwards we stopped at a couple of little lookouts. So we stopped at the Tasman Arch, Devil's Kitchen and the Blowhole. So we grabbed a couple of shots. We weren't there for too long, and then we were headed back to Hobart. So that kind of sort of finishes out day 5 of the tour here. Tomorrow's day 6 and we have a free day. I don't actually know what I'm going to do tomorrow, but as part of the tour they do offer a lot of tours that you can book directly with them. There's tours out to Bruny Island, there's tours up to Mount Wellington, there's tours to Richmond. So you can choose. They can book those for you as well as part of the tour package because it's a free day. Tomorrow we will be catching up for a final dinner with the final farewell dinner, and then I'll just recap the whole tour for you, the good, the bad, the not so good, the great. But I have enjoyed myself. I might just leave it for there. I'll get back to you tomorrow, peeps, with a final recap of this little trip. I'll let you know what I did tomorrow and finalize out this video. So catch you tomorrow, peeps. Woo! Peeps, the last day of our Trafalgar AAT Kings tour. It was a free day today, and I was out and about. I was wandering the streets of Hobart. We have just come back from a farewell dinner at Muir's, just across the road. I'm just going to sum up some highlights for the trip. I'm not going to complain about anything because there's really nothing to complain about. But the highlights for me is top-notch quality accommodation, top-notch food. The menus at the places that we have eaten have been like flash food that I'm not normally used to eating, but it was definitely a treat, and the food is 100% top-notch quality food that they have provided on the meals that they have included in the package. A couple of highlights of the trip were definitely the Pennycots tour at the Wineglass Bay, and the Port Arthur day I actually found was really good. Even the time that we had on the tour, there was time before our little wee boat trip, and then we have free time after. So we kind of had about 3.5 hours at Port Arthur. So those two were definitely the highlight for me. You know, you're always spending a lot of time on a bus no matter what you do on any tour. You know, there's places that you go that are only 5-minute stops, half an hour, 40 minutes, an hour, but those are sort of things that you get on a tour anyway. So you're limited by tour timetables. They keep you on track. Everyone played their part in making sure that they were back on time. And I might just say that the tour guide that we had, Margaret, she was really, really good. On the bus, she kept us engaged. She had lots of stories, fun facts, all this history stuff. She just knew what she was talking about. So Margaret, our tour guide, was fantastico. She went above and beyond. She was definitely a great tour guide. So the AAT King's Trafalgar tour, I'm going to rate it very high. You know, I do my own thing. I like to do my own thing. And whilst this is not a complaint about the tour, you know, you always wish that you had more time at certain places, less time at certain places, but that's just whoever you are. That's me. I like to take a lot of photos, and I enjoyed the tour as best I could with the limited time. You always know you're on a timetable with a tour company, so that's to be expected. So I have no complaints about the tour. Everything ran smoothly. 10 out of 10 accommodation, 10 out of 10 for the food. Margaret was a 10 out of 10, and the whole tour is exactly what it should have been. It was as per the guide, except for one little change. They did a gin tasting instead of, I think, what they were supposed to be doing, a planting, but that's just due to COVID. But other than that, if you're looking for a Tassie taster tour, this is definitely one that you could do. A 7-day, the Tasmania Getaway with Trafalgar. Highly recommend it. So that's basically summarizing my experience on this tour for you. So obviously it's just my experience, my personal preference, my takeaway from this tour. It could be different for other people, but definitely one to add to your list if you're looking for a little bit of a taster for Tasmania. So that's it, peeps. Spot you in the next video. Booyah!